energy comes and serves you. So next, and the more difficult one to talk about, is other people. Oh, do we have to go there? You can't walk out now, Carrie. Other people. I'm not going to be popular for saying this, but I don't care. Perhaps the biggest barrier to your enlightenment is other people. And, well, others would consider that to be a very rough statement, selfish, trying to break up families and all the rest of that. Families break up by themselves, regardless of enlightenment. That was funny. It has nothing to do with enlightenment. It is other people. And more specifically, it is the people that are the closest to you. Your partners and spouses, your children, your parents, your children, your parents, your children, your parents, your significant others, your sleeping mates, your bed mates, Edith. Those are the most. Those are the true. Those are some of the most joyful things in your life, and also the things that are truly keeping you from the realization of enlightenment. So what to do? Pack your bags, walk out, go live in the woods by yourself? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. But start realizing from this moment on that these people who are the closest to you, these people that are the very, very closest, are the ones who you cast your imbalances, you cast your fears, you cast your emptinesses, you cast your buttons onto them. You project your self, your imbalances, straight into them. And because they love you, they accept them. And by the way, you do it for them also. It's like they are your mirror, you are theirs. They have allowed you to throw your stuff onto them and have them play it back to you. They're some of your greatest teachers of all. But there comes a point where you should not cast yourself on others. So when I say it's other people, the loved ones, the ones closest to you, it's actually you doing it to them, you putting your stuff onto them so they can play it back. They push your buttons because you gave them your buttons to push. They cause you the most heartache because you gave them your heart to play back to you. It's not that they're bad people, actually, they're wonderful people, and they love you, and they've put up with a lot, just as you put up with a lot from them. But this whole practice of using other people to discover self needs to come to an end. Amen. Amen. There's a revival meeting. Oh, amen. Amen. Everybody does it to everyone else. And by the way, that's the reason so many relationships don't work or don't last for a long time, because at a certain point you can't stand seeing yourself through that other person anymore. You blame them, of course, but you just can't stand seeing yourself through them. Or at a certain point you realize that you don't need to do that with each other anymore. So the question comes up, is there hope for true, genuine, and pure relationships? It's up to you. It's up to you. But most relationships with any humans are this game of projection, casting yourself into them, like a fisherman, but casting yourself into them. So as we are in this discussion of expectations, I'm going to call this Castpectations. Would you mind writing that? Because they are also your cast, like a cast of characters in a play or a television show. They're your cast, they're your characters. But there comes a time when it becomes a one-woman or one-man show. You're on your own. It's your stage. No longer using other. It's you standing on your own, in the I am presence of yourself. When you get to that point, when you can be truthful about it, when it's just the I am on the stage, not this cast of other humans that you've surrounded yourself with, then you realize something beautiful, that there is the cast of yourself and all the magnificent aspects that you've ever had, all the very integrated aspects, and you actually don't need the others. You don't need them in the way you've been using them in the past. So here's the dilemma. You're with somebody. You have children. You have a mate, even parents. And there's this whole game that's been being played. You discovering yourself through them. And it has to come to an end at a certain level of enlightenment or awareness. Now, there's going to be people that take this out of context, and they're going to say, Adamus is saying, leave your families, leave your babies, walk away from your parents, don't take care of them. I'm not saying that. I'm going to be very clear about this. I'm not saying that. I'm saying end the game. End how you use others to see yourself. End how you use others, whether it's guides or angels or other humans or any of them, for helping you to discover you. From this point on, it's you discovering you. Can't do it through that husband or wife or through your kids or anybody else. When you make that choice within you, that you're going to release that type of relationship, will it change? Will it change the physical relationship you have with them? Energetic? Karmic? Will they walk out? Who knows? Doesn't matter. I'll tell you this. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to go home and say, oh, Adamus pushed us today, now I have to make a decision. Should I leave my deadbeat husband? I'm not saying that at all. Just, it's about you making the choice to change the dynamics, the Castpectations of enlightenment. That in itself will change the dynamics of the other relationships. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to call the divorce attorney tomorrow. It will just balance itself naturally. Now, that doesn't mean that there's not going to be some drama and turmoil, because humans are humans. And the minute somebody feels that their hooks are being taken out of you, your hooks are taken out of them, they get upset. They get upset. What's wrong with you? What are you doing at that cult meeting? What are they telling you? All these other things. That's when you take a deep breath. There could be some energy dynamic changes taking place. On the other hand, it could be the most beautiful thing, the most beautiful gift that you've given this other person or yourself. It's a release. It's a release from some very old energy bondages. It's probably, I would say, of the top 10 issues, holdbacks, concerns about enlightenment, it's these other people. It's these other people. You don't want to do it because you're afraid that it may hurt them. You don't want to do it because there's been such a dynamic that you've had with each other for so many years. You may not think that you're ready to get off of that. But my dear friends, as I said in the beginning, it comes to a point in your realization of enlightenment when there's not a lot of guides around anymore. It comes to a point where there's not a lot of friends like you've had friends before. It comes to a point where there's not a lot of other humans, relationships like you've had relationships. Doesn't mean they're gone, just means that they change. I can't tell you if they're going to leave or not. I can't tell you what happens. But this is the point where you take a deep breath and you assume it's about enlightenment. And you assume you're doing it in the greatest love, first of yourself, and then of the others that you've shared love with. This is the point where you assume and you trust that it's the joyfulness of the I am. Let's take a deep breath with that.